moments to share with you what premarital counseling is. It does make a difference. I can remember the day just as if it happened. 23 years ago, my wife, or my fiance at the time, were sitting in an office with Jake Jacobs from Prince of Pike Church of God. He was going over our ground rules. We got done with the meeting. He handed us a set of packets. We got ready to leave, and he looked at us and said, one last thing. If I don't think you're ready to be married when we get done with this, I am not going to perform the ceremony. We got up and walked out. We got in the car. I looked at my fiance and I said, who does he think he is? The cake has been ordered. The dress has been bought. Invitations have been ordered. Hotel rooms have been made. We have family coming in. This is going to happen no matter what he says. She looked at me and said, it's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. Today, I want to talk to you about where we are as a country and where we stand in divorce rates. What does premarital counseling look like? And why you should participate in premarital counseling. Divorce rate is what most people consider the easy way out now. An argument happens, instead of sitting down and talking about it, we run to our lawyers. We get in a fight, we run to our lawyers. We get our feelings hurt, we run to our lawyers. People have given up on fighting for that true love that they felt when they decided to get married. My wife and I are proof that premarital counseling works. We have been married 22 years. Jennifer Baker of the Forrest Institute of Professional Psychology in Springfield, Missouri says that 50% of marriages in divorce the first time around. 67% of those second marriages fail, and a whopping 74% of third marriages end up in divorce. What if I change class every time my professor gave me a bad grade? My education's going to suffer. What if I got mad at my coworker or my supervisor because he didn't give me my day off, and I decided to quit my job? Eventually, my job skills are going to be affected, and the ability to get another job is going to be negatively reacted and affected. The Huffington Post says that children whose parents divorce when they are very young have a much more difficult time establishing that relationship with their parents later in life. It goes on to say a person who has a secure relationship with their parent is more likely to be able to trust that parent, and they feel that they can trust them later in life. And this is according to R. Chris Fraley, professor at the University of Illinois, Urbana in Chicago. Such a person, he continues to say, is more depending on the parent and is confident that that parent will be psychologically available to them when they need them later in life. In my interview with Jake Jacobs at Prince of Pike Church of God, he shared with me that when he interviews and does counseling for people that are getting second and third marriages, a lot of them come in and they're in what he called puppy love. They think they found their true mate the second time around. But they forget that it brings in a whole nother dynamic. It brings in second and third marriages, once again brings step siblings, a new set of step parents. And it also brings in step grandparents. What's that going to be like? So now I would like to talk to you about what premarital counseling looks like. And I'm going to explain to you what my wife and I did. When we went in to meet with Jacob, he gave us 3 packets. One was just a basic information packet. We filled it out with our contact information, our birth dates, our pay, things like that. He was wanting just information from us. Then he gave us 2 other packets that were considered resource packets in case we needed them later in the session. And then we had to return those packets to him. The first packet, he was looking for red flags. Have we set up a budget? If not, what is the budget going to look like? Who's bringing in debt? Am I bringing in a large amount of student debt? Is there credit card debt that I haven't shared with my fiance that could cause problems down the road? Those are things that he's going to address in the counseling with us. And then he continues with the second and third packet as needed. He's also looking for that first packet. Does one person dominate everything? Is one person controlling in the communication? because that's going to be a potential roadblock or a stumble. Now, maybe you would prefer counseling that isn't religious-based. I did a quick Google search and found premarital counseling that you could do online. And you could walk yourself through it in a workbook at your own pace. Couples therapists would be a great place to go and do counseling. They do counseling after the fact. They would do counseling before the fact. And also a quick search through Amazon found many workbooks that you could purchase and read as a couple and do together. In the long run, premarital counseling will help when those bumps in the road come along. Remember when I talked about Jake with the second and third marriages and the parents being in true love? If a person comes in and they've been married before and there's children involved, he brings those kids in for counseling and talks to the kids one-on-one, and then brings the parents back in. If there's a second spouse and the spouse is able to make it in, he will bring the former spouse in. Did you get counseling while you were married? Did you correct what was wrong with yourself before you step into another marriage? And did you fix it? He will bring that in. He gets everybody together. You have reference points to look back at. If my wife and I were to go back, we would follow up with Jake. He does follow-ups at 3 months and 1 year from the day you're married. It gives you somebody to look back at. Before you walk down the aisle on your special day, I want you to take just a few minutes and pause and think what premarital counseling will do and give it an opportunity for yourself. As I said just a minute ago, if I was to call Jake, and he actually did this when I interviewed, he went over to a file cabinet, pulled out my wife and I's file, and set it on the desk in front of me. And if we were to call him and say, we're arguing about money, he would go back, pull that file out, and say, we're going to start right here with what we said in our counseling. And this is our reference point to start with. Today, we have looked at the divorce rate. We looked at what premarital counseling looks like and what it can do for you and how it will give you that reference point to go back to. Maybe you're not sure where to get counseling. Ask a married friend. Ask somebody, a coworker. Did you get premarital counseling? Did you do this? Like I said, you could also ask the person performing your ceremony. They may direct you in the right way. Or you can purchase the book. After 22 years, my wife, who is here with me today, sitting up to my left, and we can honestly say that we are glad that we spent those 6 weeks going through premarital counseling, and we can stand here and say that we have been married for 22 years. And I want to leave you with one last quote from Dr. James Dobson. Don't marry the person that you think you can live with.